some of the major happenings here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. I want to welcome all of you. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. The time from where we are is 3:30 in Monrovia. And of course, first of all, we want you to give us feedback on the quality of the audio. Kind of let us know what the quality of the audio is like. And of course, we are here to make sure we can bring you up to speed with some of the major happenings here. Well, today is Saturday, and as most of you are aware, Saturdays are not the usual working day. The headquarters of the Liberia National Police here is... So we are here live at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. It's very quiet here this afternoon with a very huge security presence. Access to this facility here today is a bit restricted. It's not the usual activity here. As you see from the far end there, you see the barricade mounted there. No stopping, no waiting, no parking. It's an order from the Liberia National Police. And at the far end there, you have another barricade there as well. Making and anyone who gets to have access to the facility here will have to make sure that they have this business here and they're properly identified. At the far end there, you see an LMP vehicle parked there as well. A very huge security presence, and right here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. At the far end there, you see a very good number of journalists, media practitioners have gathered there as well, making sure they also capture some of what's happening here. Now, just to give you a brief background as to why we have all of these happening here, most of you have been following very closely the 19 million drug box at the Rabat International Airport that sparked concerns across the country. Liberians in and out of Liberia have been very concerned. Our international partners have been very concerned and so much involved with this process as well. The Joint Security took on the entire investigation. The Ministry of Justice, the Liberia National Police, the Liberia Immigration Service, they've all been at the center of this very investigation along with the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. As we speak, the most recent engagement relative to this situation was the invite from the Liberian Senate so as to have the Joint Security provide some sort of update with respect to the status of the investigation as to why there hasn't been any arrest so far. And that hearing was a major one that led to different conversations. Now, during that hearing, the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, who spoke on behalf of the Joint Security, did promise the Liberian Senate that before the end of the week, there would have been some arrest, or that there was going to be some arrest with respect to the ongoing investigation. He assured the senators that the investigation has been progressing very well. But the only reason why the Joint Security have not been updating the public on a regular basis is because most of the information they've gathered so far is classified, and due to the secretive nature of some of those of the investigation all by itself, a transnational crime that they're investigating, the fact that they have international partners who are involved with this entire process, he did assure the Senate that subsequently they will get to update the public with respect to the investigation, and they will get to make some arrests as well. And so since that time up until now, Liberians have been looking eagerly to see as to what will be the update from the Liberia National Police. The week ends today being Saturday, and information we've gathered is that the Liberia National Police have made some arrest or is about to name some individuals or persons of interest here, some suspects here to the public for the first time since this investigation started. So that's exactly why we're here, as to whether there have been arrests made so far, as to whether some of the persons of interest or suspects are here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. That's something that we will be bringing you more details on. Another very important information is that we've also gathered that the Liberia National Police, the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, will be addressing the media very shortly as well, relative to the status of the investigation. So that's exactly why you see journalists at the far end there posted from every corner, a huge security presence here, and the stage is set. We're looking forward to see what's going to happen in the next couple of minutes from now. But we're getting information that there have been some arrests have been made. As to whether this is true or not, that's exactly why we're here, and we're going to bring you up to speed with what the reality is here. So we want you to keep watching. This is Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Collier, and Diamond is going to be coming on as well. We're here together to bring you this live broadcast here.
We are hoping that we are coming in good this time.
Police. The big question now remains as to whether arrests have been made, as to whether the police is going to, for the first time, be saying to the Liberian people who those individuals are that are being arrested, what their involvements are, and all of those basic information surrounding this investigation. Drugs is a major pandemic in the country, and the current administration, immediately upon the winning of the election, the president of the Republic of Liberia declared war on drugs. There were major conversations in the country as to whether drug testing should be a prerequisite to public officials taking office, since in fact drugs was one of those major issues that the government campaigned on. One of those major things that the government said it would have worked on. This 19 million drugs box is one of those major issues that the current administration will have to face. And this is exactly where we are. A lot of people have said that this situation will determine as to whether the government is serious, the way the government addressed this issue, the approach, and the extent to which the government will investigate this situation will send a message as to whether the government is serious about the fight against drugs or whether it's just a lip service. A lot of people have termed this 19 million drugs bust as a test to the government of Liberia, especially when it comes to the promises made towards the fight against drugs. So it's been pretty close to 1 month since this situation occurred at the Rabat International Airport, and Liberians at some point appear to be very impatient relative to the approach and the way the investigation have been going on. The last public hearing held with members of the Joint Security, you could hear from the way most of the senators presented the issue that even they themselves
we are still checking to make sure that we are coming in properly
well,
from our end here.
What the outcome of this investigation will be. One of the senators who expressed serious disappointment was Green Cape Mountain County Senator Daba Vapla, who said that if the government fails to take some actions to bring to book those individuals who are involved with this entire thing, she said she's going to join the ordinary citizens to rally a campaign against the government that she supported. Well, at some point, this entire process seemed to be primarily a transnational crime that should be just about the investigation. And at another end, there's the political twist to it as well, especially so when the government campaign and assured Liberians that the fight against drugs will be a major one. And so this is where we are. We are here this afternoon to bring you up to speed with what's happening here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police as the there will be an address very shortly. What exactly is the police going to say to the Liberian people as to whether this address will bring some sort of hope to the average Liberian citizen who have had so many questions over the time? That's exactly what we are trying to establish here. So this is where we are, and I want to say thanks to all of you joining us here this afternoon. Spoon TV, we are here live at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. I'm going to get Diamond to come in at this point as we remain posted here to keep bringing you updates on this very important situation. Diamond, you were here, before I got here. What has it been like? What did you observe?
Thank you, Nelson. You're doing a good job. Good afternoon to everybody. Spoon TV, live here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. Just to answer your question, Nelson, I'm looking at a picture. We will be posting the picture as well. Credit to People's TV. But Paul King is in the building. Paul King arrived with at least 5 men around him. Those men were not wearing police uniform, but from the picture which we'll be sharing, you can see this is a file. This guy in the khaki looks like a sheriff. From the court, we cannot confirm that, but what he's holding is a file, and in that file, we were informed by our impeccable sources that file contains reportedly an arrest warrant for Paul King. Remember, Paul King is the manager of GLS Menendez, the cargo handling company at the Roberts International Airport. But what our sources are telling us, our sources from within, as you were giving this live since last night, we've been up and running after this information. We were hearing information that arrests would have been made today. And earlier this morning, 3-4 o'clock, we're informed that those arrests were being made by our sources. But what we can confirm, the notable person, the identifiable person that I did see is Paul King, and he's currently with police investigators in the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, Nelson.
Yeah, definitely, Diamond. So at this point, I'll turn over to you as I remain here as well, making sure we get more information. But the security presence remain very huge here. There's a huge presence of the media. I know this is one of the activities that Liberians are looking forward to, and we are posted here to make sure we give them the pieces of information just as it is, Diamond.
Thank you. Thank you, Nelson. Kudos to Nelson there. So, folks, remain live here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, commonly known as Central in Liberia. But why are we here? As stated by Nelson, the joint security appeared before the Liberian Senate after they were invited, or if you want to use the word summon, by the Senate to inquire the status of the $19.2 million worth of drugs, the investigation, how the investigation was proceeding, and where are we now with these investigations. It was at that Senate hearing that the police IG, the Inspector General of Police, Gregory Coleman, despite his verbal outburst with Senator Samuel Kogai from Nimba County, for which he later apologized when he labeled the senator as a loose stalker, but the police IG apologized. That wasn't the crux of the appearance of the joint security. What made news aside from that was the fact that the police IG, Colonel Gregory Coleman, promised the Liberian Senate, promised the Liberian people, made the country aware that on to
All right, folks. So we are still setting up and making sure that we are not getting that echo coming in. Like you said, it's been quite a little while since we've been out here, so a couple of changes. So bear with us, please. We want to make sure that we are live on all of the media, all of the airway.
Saturday, in his words, Saturday, by the end of this week, which is Saturday, arrest would have been made in the 19 million drug bust at the Roberts International Airport. We'll take you back in time in history as to how did we get here. But the current information that we get in here from our sources is that Paul King, yes, I did see Paul King. He's in the building. Paul King wearing, let me get you the right description. Looking at the picture, yes, Paul King is wearing a predominant.
Yeah, so I think we got it straightened up now. We should be good enough to go. So let's keep the show going on.
And crane shirt with white spots on it. He was seen holding an imported mineral water bottle flanked
So
by
please
four
go ahead and
able-bodied
share the
men.
show
He
for
was
us,
escorted
folks,
into the
and we
headquarters
can
of the
be heard
Liberian National
too
Police
as
as to
well on
what
our audio
arrangement has brought him
network.
here, whether he's been arrested, whether or not he's been elevated from a person of interest to a suspect, or whether or not he's assisting police investigators, whether he's on a witness protection. We don't know his status as of now, but what we can tell you is not only Paul King, other persons of interest are also in the headquarters of the Liberian National Police right now, and they are before investigators. What we do know and what we can confirm again is that the police is going to host a major press conference any moment from now. All we're waiting for is the cue from the Inspector General through his subordinates that the press conference will begin, and what our sources, again, impeccable sources, top-notch sources, are telling the Spoon Network is that names will be mentioned, suspects will be named, arrests will be made. As to who are those that will be arrested or named as suspects, we cannot tell you that for sure. But one thing Liberians do know is Liberians have been yearning for answers, and investigators have been under immense pressure since the drug was busted at the Roberts International Airport. So now, how did we get here? Why is there a $19.2 million drug investigation in the country? This is how we got here. On the 8th of June, 2026, at the Roberts International Airport, Liberia recorded one of its biggest drug busts in recent years. Yes, there was $100 million.
We want to give credit out there
some
to the
years back,
Spoon
but
Network.
this Boycott
Credit
administration,
to the
which
Spoon
did
Network
campaign
for
on the
bringing this
issue of
life to
fighting
us.
drugs and eradicating the drug menace in our country, terming drug as a national emergency. The president did say that again in his 22nd cabinet meeting, but $19.2 million worth of drugs, cocaine pallets were arrested. 198 pallets of cocaine arrested at the Roberts International Airport, totaling 237.6 kilograms of cocaine, pure cocaine. 237.6 kilograms of cocaine arrested at GLS Menendez's warehouse at the Roberts International Airport. The news broke all around like wildfire. Liberians started to question suspicions. We had a lot of conspiracy theory and conspiracy theorists as to who's involved and who's not involved, what office is involved, who's the individual, and all of that. President Boycott addressed the nation in a pre-recorded message. The president said nobody is going to be scapegoated, and he called for investigation into the matter. Well, some of his detractors said that wasn't
That's a
enough.
lot.
And then we
A
had a
lot.
total of 10 persons of interest named by the Ministry of Justice. These persons of interest include, and that
That's a whole lot there of cocaine being arrested. A whole lot. We are going to have a close up to this, and I know, of course, the government is doing a lot better, doing an excellent job. So let's keep on following.
announcement was made on the 19th of June. So the bus was made on the 8th. A lot of public pressure from the 8th of June, 2026. And then the 19th of June, the Ministry of Justice mentioned or announced a list of persons of interest. And these are the persons of interest and their various portfolios as of that moment. Philip Yu, Security Manager, GLS Menendez at the Roberts International Airport. Festus S. Musa, Cargo Handler, GLS Menendez. Menzies, okay, Menzies, if I got that right. Menzies, GLS Menzies. Ruth Bapewe, Ruth Bapewe, Scanner Agent RIA, Achi Yanfor, Cargo Handler, Express Handling Services, known as EHS, Author B. Abdullahi, CEO, Express Handling
So, like I said,
Services,
folks, welcome.
Geraldine
We have been away
Zeno,
for some
Scanner
time, and
Agent
now
RIA,
we are back,
Mohammed
but we are
Warwa,
back
Security
better,
Director
than ever
RIA. As of the
before.
moment that release was made, those individuals were in the country as of that time. Then those who were reported at large the 19th of June 2026, Paul J. King, CEO, GLS Menzies, Oscar Brown, Chief of Intelligence RIA, Emmanuel T. Zion, Transporter, Express Handling Services. But Paul is in the country. We can tell you that for sure. He walked in the headquarters of the Liberia National Police early hours this morning, and the Senate hearing was on the 2nd of July 2026. Total number of days since this drug bust occurred at the Roberts International Airport from the 8th of June 2026 to the 4th of July. Today is the 4th of July. Happy Independence to the American people and to the United States of America. Enjoy your day. Now we go back to why we're here. From the 8th of June 2026 to the 4th of July 2026, that makes it 26 days. It's been 26 days since the drug bust occurred at the Roberts International Airport. And we are here today because our sources have informed us that the police, through to the promise of the Inspector General of Police, Gregory Coleman, that suspects will be named.
Oh, sorry for that, folks. I didn't even know that the mic,
the
mic was off. But wherever you are watching us from, welcome to LBRO platform. And we do have, our FM app that you can as well follow us from.
Who imported, who attempted exporting.
I would say to our pastor that is following, welcome. Welcome. I'm seeing your
warehouse at the Roberts International Airport. That consignment of cocaine, 6 black boxes, was headed for the United Kingdom through Brussels, Belgium. Emery Van, the reported company that was exporting the drugs out of the country. Some have speculated that this has not been the first, this is not the second, this is not the third. What this exposed is how fragile, fractured, and penetrable our systems are at the Roberts International Airport, that people will be emboldened to transport drugs from Liberia to another country, making it a transnational crime. We've been informed that other security agencies are involved in this investigation. Whatever the case is, the burden of proof, or the highest, biggest, heaviest burden, is on the Liberian authorities to fight this, not just because drug in itself has got its own problems, but for a government that campaigned against drugs and drugs infestation in our country, this is a major case. As stated by Nelson Collier some years back, we had $100 million worth of drug case here in this country, and we go back to the history books. For Liberia to be seen as a serious country in the fight against drugs and other transnational crimes, this case is a huge litmus test for the Braka Cone administration. Back in history, in October 2022, 520 kg of cocaine.
Folks, wherever you are following us from, you can as well call, the platform and or join the platform, and we will take your call and discuss this as well. What's your take on this issue going on?
There is a tight and very strict security presence here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. To enter this place, you must be searched, you must be questioned, you must be given authority before you can even enter. This place has got a quiet eerie about it. It's quiet. The breeze, is the only thing you can feel and hear whistle. Apart from that, only murmurs and pockets chattering you can notice. The rest of it is serious face, questions being asked, and there seems to be some level of tense here. The public pressure on police authorities have been very, very immense. Liberians, home and abroad, are equally interested and vested in what happens here. Which names will be called? What roles will be defined? What charges, if charges are going to be levied, Nelson? It's a serious situation here. The press is present. There is, an army of media practitioners, because word has gone around that the police is going to have a major press conference in relation to the $19.2 million drug bust at the Roberts International Airport, Nelson. What's your take on all of what new information have you been able to gather as well?
So what I'm getting is that the press conference is going to be starting very shortly. But Diamond, from the very day the Senate had the public hearing with the folks from the Joint Security, the heads of the Joint Security, and then when the police IG, who turned out to be the spokesperson for the Joint Security, when he disclosed to the Senate that before the end of the week there will be some arrest, that all by itself, just that statement got a lot of Liberians looking eagerly to the weekend. And a lot of people were looking up for Friday, and then Friday came and passed. And then Saturday today is that day when a lot of people will just be looking to see what the police will say, who are those that will be arrested. And Diamond, you would not believe, and I believe you must have received some of those calls, Liberians calling, some of us even in the media, when the arrest will be made, when exactly will those people be arrested? Who are those arrested? So that's why that's one of the reasons why this activity here today at the Liberia National Police Headquarters is very important, because this is going to answer some of the questions that so many Liberians have had over the time relative to this drugs bust at the Roberts International Airport. Whether it's going to quench their thirst, that's something that we can really not speak to. We can't really speak to now. But yes, so this is a very important day here for the ongoing investigation. And it's glaring that the press conference today might not bring the entire investigation to an end.
No.
But what this would do is to just provide is more like a status update with respect to the level of progress that this investigation.
Let's shift a bit, Nelson.
Yeah, no story is worth.
Okay, folks. So the line is open. You can get hold of us and give your take on this issue going on, the drugs issue going on in Liberia right now. The number to call is 612-222-0299. You can see around the screen 612-222-0299. If you are outside the country, you can as well call us by WhatsApp. It is the same number by WhatsApp
what is going to be
or Facebook Messenger, and you're going to be part of this. We are heard also by our FM
a joint
app.
consensus.
You can get our live broadcast
through
our FM app. So the number is 612-222-0299.
Out today will be that information that has been approved,
the line is
and
open
approved by the Joint Security and the international partners to be released, so as to ensure that even after the information has been released, it doesn't undermine the ongoing investigation. Because from all indications, that's one of the things that the Joint Security have been trying to do so much. I mean, from the very start of this entire thing, according to them.
What's your take on this entire drug issue in Liberia? Because I mean, everyone has their own opinion when it comes to
I just want to throw
what is going on, who is to be blamed, about this drug in Liberia. And as Liberian, you have your right.
Disclose also
you have your right.
Several members of the Joint Security are undergoing investigation.
We are heard
for these
by
for the breach
FM
of security, for carrying on
directly in Liberia as well.
Investigation, so as to whether the police is going to speak to that as well. How far have the investigation gone? How many officers are we talking about? What have they done to them? Will they be disrupted, or have they been disrupted, or are there, just pieces of information surrounding that as well? Because it's all tied to this ongoing investigation and all of that. So we look forward to see what happens in the next couple of minutes from now. But the atmosphere here seemed very calm, and it seemed to be one that will just answer some questions that so many people have had over the time relative to this investigation.
Brilliant, splendid. Thank you, Nelson. As you also try to get us more information, the iron gates, the main entrance to the headquarters, barred, shut. only authorized personnel are allowed to enter, as Nelson rightly stated. This is a joint security investigation. The president doing his 22nd cabinet meeting, His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boakai stressed again for the 18th time that drugs is a national emergency. And the president said that there will be no sacred cow, nobody will be spared. Whomever these investigation drags in, you will definitely face the full weight of the law. Now, why is this important? It's not only important politically, it's important for the image of our country internationally as well. If a country is known as a prime or a ripe destination for transiting of drugs or transnational shipment of drugs passing through your country, the country tends to be blacklisted for several reasons, including cargo embargoes and the rest. Your citizens go through a lot of strenuous measures while wanting to travel abroad. Then we come to the issue of drugs coming with the added threat of violence and on unlicensed firearms and gang violence and all of those things that accompany drugs as well. It also speaks to the fragility of our security system, the screening, the measures, how easily penetrable our systems are. That you can, if you look at the list of persons of interest, you look at majority of those people are security personnel or parasecurity personnel, talking about scanners, cargo handlers, security chief, intelligence chiefs, and the rest. And that goes to show an established network. But at the end of the day, what many Liberians are key about, the key interest of many Liberians is how far top reaching is this network? Who are the big names? Who are the authorizing names? Who are those that are the top echelon of this network? Are we going to see just middlemen and small targets? Or what are we going to see in terms of kingpins and the rest? Who are those to be named as kingpins? Who are those to be named as heads of these institutions and the organizations? Where did the drugs come from in the first place to come to Liberia, being manufactured in the country? Is it? Or was the drugs brought in through what point of entry? Did the 237 plus kg of drugs arrive in the country? Through what means? Through what channels? You know, these things are to be established as well. So this investigation hinges on a lot of things, and those factors, Liberians are key to get answers, if not all of the answers today, but bulk of the answers Liberians are yearning for. It's been 26 long days, painstaking days, a lot of speculations, a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of analysis, a lot of video and audio messages being leaked out there. One thing again that this case has shown is how evolved the Liberian media is. Now, let's take into consideration the role that the media has played, making sure to keeping pressure and the government's feet to the fire to deliver. Usually in Liberia, we have the saying that things only last 7 days. And after 7 days, there is a spillover, there is a blowover, and it gets back to normal. That hasn't been the case in this $19 million drug bust at the Roberts International Airport. That hasn't been the case. The press has been piling on the pressure upon pressure upon pressure. Networks of informants, confidential informants, names have been released, you know, images, pictures were released. Whether or not the joint security alluded that those revelations kind of undermine the investigation, it also breathed fire and pressure onto the security apparatus. We did see updates coming from the Ministry of Justice naming persons of interest. We did see CCTV footage for which the police did not refute that those footages didn't come from the Roberts International Airport. Rather, the Inspector General said they are investigating leaks as to how those video footage and audio clips were released to the media. All that pile on pressure. Then we also have been seeing the political pressure as well, coming from opposition leaders like Alexander Benedict Cummings of the ANC, Simeon Freeman of the MPC, the CDC weighing in on that as well. The most recent ruling party now in opposition, piling on the pressure on the government. And so the pressure has been immense. We've also have had international and diplomatic pressure. We did see the charge d'affaires of the U.S. embassy visiting the police IG, whether or not the drug issue was discussed. We did see him visiting the vice president of the Republic of Liberia as well. A lot of other visits. So there's been a lot of chatters of international pressure on Liberia to deliver, and above all is the image of this country, the security and the sanity of our beloved Liberia. For a country to be named as a transit point for drugs is not a good label, and for a government who is doing campaign accuse the previous regime of tarnishing and dragging the name of our nation in the mud on the international scene, this is an embarrassment that they would want to avoid. So that press conference today is just one step in the investigation process as to what answers is going to provide us. We can only hope but listen as to which names will be mentioned, whether or not there will be the revelation of new names, or whether or not we'll see those persons of interest being elevated to suspects. Remember, if you are a person of interest by the police, it could mean one of three things. It's either you've got information that is needed to help and aid police investigators. It's either your role has been defined as somebody who played a pivotal role, or it's either you can also help name others who might have had hands or issues in what has transpired. We could also see, though, that some of these persons of interest might be turned state witness. Deals can be cut. We have the Witness Protection Agency in Liberia who's stalking, who's squealing, who's giving our names, who's looking for a deal. All these are part of the criminal investigation process. So this is just a step, and we are waiting on the police press conference. My name is Diamond Slanger. Nelson Collier is here. The headquarters of the Liberia National Police is the hottest spot as we speak. The Inspector General promised Liberians through their senators that they are going to mention names as well. Today, Saturday, the weekend, he said by the end of this week, he was firm, he was affirmative when he did say by the end of this week. Last night, we got information from our sources that arrests would have been made. We were combing the streets through the early morning hours to see if we could catch police officers doing their thing. We are unfortunate not to have, but this morning we got information that some individuals have been arrested and brought in. Confirmed sighting is that of Paul King, who did arrive in the country after he was named as a person of interest. I can tell you that this Paul King entering the headquarters of the Liberia National Police wearing a green shirt with white spots on it. He was flanked by a number of individuals. We cannot tell which agency they are from because they were not wearing their uniform. They were wearing regular civilian clothing. So we cannot tell you which agency or institution those individuals are from, but he was escorted into the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. Since this morning, he's been there, and it's 10 minutes after 4 p.m. here in Liberia. It is not a hot day. It is not a sunny day. It's a calm, cool, and cozy day. But for some people, this might be a day that they will not exit the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. As to how many individuals will be arrested, named, and charged, we cannot tell you for sure. But what we can tell you, though, what confirmed information we can give you, though, persons of interest, suspects, or whether or not they are still suspects, will be presented by the Liberia National Police. We can tell you that some individuals have been elevated from persons of interest to suspects in this particular case. As to whether or not the new list
Like you don't get me some shot at all. You are not letting you go. Yeah, you my heart and my soul. I swear when I let you go today. I cannot you I got so. She want to make me money more. But I swear when I let you go. I let you go. Now you want to treat me, man, call you rebel. So now you leave me like that, fool. I beg you don't do me like Florida. In my yamala me the one you love so and everything says in my cat la be number one fella. Yes, I told you my lover. I wanna know when you come eat over. I'm gonna let you know I can give me sugar. Yeah, me, yeah, it's over. I didn't just take colors left over. I want them see now we taking over. You for my mind, you my boss up, boy. I try to have my boss up, oh. You do me my photo, ba ba ba. Oh, I didn't get
or the updated list will feature new names. We also cannot confirm. What we can confirm to you again is there is going to be a major press conference addressed by the hierarchy of the Liberia National Police. We've been informed that the Inspector General of Police himself, Conor Gregory Coleman, is going to address this press conference. Okay, so what happened this morning was Paul King was escorted through the main entrance of the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. That is for sure. But the rest of the individuals were passed at the back. There is a place at the back there. It's called the basement area. You know, They pass through the back area to put some people through the into the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. That we can tell you for sure. The residence of Paul King was searched using a search warrant by officers of the DEA. They joined security. They did go to search his premises. as well. Other search and seizure warrants were issued for individuals whose names were listed as persons of interest. But what we did see was the search and seizure happening at the King's. The key interest of many Liberians is how far top reaching is this network? Who are the big names? Who are the authorizing names? Who are those that are the top echelon of this network?
Never had a big for attention. Everything about it, budget, only in broke. I just. So long, I'm a you just get it on I just. See. I saw for money to net. We tried to put on in bread. Everything was so sweet and set. Until one day, Jehovah blessed me with something. I got 20% and carry. They pause that checking on the set. I think funny and keeping distance. Me too started getting concerned. But what's up with your new attitude? And he said, oh, baby, you are too fine to be stuck in this kind of life. Let me just go hustle, baby. You deserve a better living. Oh, baby, let me supposed to take care of you. I cannot have for you, none. So I guess I'm not the right one for you, none. So let me go, I know it's hard. Situation got us like this. But what it's meant to be will be eventually. I let you go, so when it's hard. Situation got us like this. But what it's meant to be will be eventually. That's how I lost my baby, and that's how my baby lost me too. Also, that's how I lost my baby, and that's how my baby lost me too. Also, before you fall in this is so sad, oh, but it's deep down like the best chorus. Me, I believe everything happens for a reason. People come into your life for a reason, not season, or maybe just for the lesson. But he said to me, do you really think I wanna let you go? So many sacrifices I made for you, but you gotta change certain things. Now some things will be changing, it's not your fault. Oh baby, you are too fine to be stuck in this kind of life. Let me just go hustle, baby. You deserve a better living. Oh baby, let me supposed to take care of you. I cannot have for you, none. So I guess I'm not the right one for you, none. So let me go, let me hide. So are you happy now? Tell me if the grass ain't down on the other side. Tell me, I used to get so much better. You try to hide, you play me like a fool. Or maybe I was good for you. You know that's a line for a road. You know what I wanted from myself. You will get what you're looking for. You know you would carry your load. You know you would pay you that house. And you would get what you're looking for. You would let you would let the highway. You would let the highway. So kind of way. You know I go around, I come around. And by the time you are nothing but a fan now. Remember you were busting in my eye, that I would mango. I play my defense, that I would not do. Little push me no mercy. You got my heart and mess. You were busting in my eye, that I would mango. Play my defense, that I would not do. Little push me no mercy. You got my heart and mess. You know that's not it for road. You know what I wanted from myself. You would get what you're looking for. You know you would carry your load. You know you would pay you that house. And you will get what you get what you will live, you will live, you will live, you will live, you will live,
Get involved and music. It's music and money. DJ OBX. Mix it live.
Let me follow my bestie. They tell me say I left money. I come and feeling all the last saving. But he not too much to prove to him. I give my heart and my whole body. Saying I said if I ain't get to me. But them I call back. I see her looking for you. That what you I came to for you. I be give my baby go. But them I call back. And I get the wife for you. That what you
network. Are we going to see just middlemen and small targets, or what are we going to see in terms of kingpins and the rest? Who are those to be named as kingpins? Who are those to be named as heads of these institutions and organizations? Where did the drugs come from in the first place to come to Liberia, being manufactured in the country? Is it, or was the drugs brought in through what point of entry? Did the 237 plus kg of drugs arrive in the country through what means, through what channel? These things are to be established as well. So this investigation hinges on a lot of things, and those factors, Liberians, are key to get answers. If not all of the answers today, but part of the answers Liberians are yearning for. It's been 26 long days, painstaking days, a lot of speculation, a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of analysis, a lot of video and audio messages being leaked out there. One thing again that this case has shown is how evolved the Liberian media is. Now, let's take into consideration the role that the media has played, making sure to keep in pressure and the government's feet to the fire to deliver. Usually in Liberia, we have the saying that things only last 7 days, and after 7 days, there is a spillover, there is a blowover, and it gets back to normal. That hasn't been the case in this $19 million drug bust at the Roberts International Airport. That hasn't been the case. The press has been piling on the pressure upon pressure upon pressure. Networks of informants, confidential informants, names have been released, images, pictures were released. Whether or not the joint security alluded that those revelations kind of undermined the investigation, it also brought fire and pressure onto the security apparatus. We did see updates coming from the Ministry of Justice naming persons of interest. We did see CCTV footage for which the police did not refute that those footages didn't come from the Roberts International Airport. Rather, the Inspector General said they are investigating leaks as to how those video footage and audio clips were released to the media. All that power and pressure. Then we also have been seeing the political pressure as well, coming from opposition leaders like Alexander Benedict Cummings of the ANC, Simeon Freeman of the MPC, the CDC weighing in on that as well, the most recent ruling party now in opposition, piling on the pressure on the government, and so the pressure has been immense. We've also had international and diplomatic pressure. We did see the Charlie affair of the U.S. embassy visiting the police IG, whether or not the drug issue was discussed. We did see him visiting the vice president of the Republic of Liberia as well, a lot of other visits. So there's been a lot of chatters of international pressure on Liberia to deliver, and above all is the image of this country, the security and the sanity of our beloved Liberia. For a country to be named as a transit point for drugs is not a good label, and for a government who is doing campaign accuse the previous regime of tarnishing and dragging the name of our nation in the mud on the international scene, this is an embarrassment that they would want to avoid. So that press conference today is just one step in the investigation process as to what answers is going to provide us. We can only hope but listen as to which names will be mentioned, whether or not there will be the revelation of new names, or whether or not we'll see those persons of interest being elevated to suspects. Remember, if you are a person of interest by the police, it could mean one of three things. It's either you've got information that is needed to help and aid police investigators. It's either your role has been defined as somebody who played a pivotal role, or it's either you can also help name others who might have had hands or issues in what has transpired. We could also see, though, that some of these persons of interest might be turned state witness. Deals can be cut. We have the Witness Protection Agency in Liberia who's talking, who's squealing, who's giving out names, who's looking for a deal. All these are part of the criminal investigation process. So this is just a step, and we are waiting on the police press conference. My name is Diamond Slanger. Nelson Collier is here. The headquarters of the Liberian National Police is the hottest spot as we speak. The Inspector General promised Liberians through their senators that they are going to mention names as well. Today, Saturday, the weekend, he said by the end of this week, he was firm, he was affirmative when he did say by the end of this week. Last night, we got information from our sources that arrests would have been made. We were combing the streets through the early morning hours to see if we could catch police officers doing their thing. We were unfortunate not to have, but this morning we got information that some individuals have been arrested and brought in. Confirmed sighting is that of Paul King, who did arrive in the country after he was named as a person of interest. I can tell you that this Paul King entering the headquarters of the Liberian National Police wearing a green shirt with white spots on it. He was flanked by a number of individuals. We cannot tell which agency they are from because they were not wearing their uniform. They were wearing
Me analyse for nobody. For a minute, me a change my ways. Me analyse for nobody. For a minute, me a change my ways. All about me follow my bestie. They tell me say I like money. I come and feeling all the last thing. But what they are not touch is a proof to him. I give my heart and my whole body. Say they not tell them I did tell me. What them
regular civilian clothing, so we cannot tell you which agency or institution those individuals are from, but he was escorted into the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. Since this morning, he's been there, and it's 10 minutes after 4 p.m. here in Liberia. It is not a hot day, it is not a sunny day, it's a calm, cool, and cozy day. But for some people, this might be a day that they will not exit the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. as to how many individuals will be arrested, named, and charged. We cannot tell you for sure. But what we can tell you, though, what confirmed information we can give you, though, persons of interest, suspects, or whether or not they are still suspects will be presented by the Liberia National Police. We can tell you that some individuals have been elevated from persons of interest to suspects in this. Particular case as to whether or not the new list or the updated list will feature new names, we also cannot confirm. What we can confirm to you again is there is going to be a major press conference addressed by the hierarchy of the Liberia National Police. We've been informed that the Inspector General of Police himself, Colonel Gregory Coleman, is going to address this press conference. Okay, so what happened this morning was Paul King was escorted through the main entrance of the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. That is for sure. But the rest of the individuals were passed at the back. There is a place at the back there. It's called the basement area. You know, they passed through the back area to put some people through the into the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. That we can tell you for sure. The residence of Paul King was, you know, searched using a search warrant by officers of the DEA, the Joint Security. They did go to search his premises as well. Other search and seizure warrants were issued for individuals whose names were listed as persons of interest. But what we did see was the search and seizure happening at the King's residence as well. So all those things have been, you know, ongoing in this investigative process. It's been 26 long days for investigators. If 26 days isn't enough time to give tangibles to the Liberian people, then the Liberian people have only got one question on their mind. And that question is, how long before we see tangibles? For investigators who've spoken to off camera, they've said to us the process is not a rushing one. They do not want to make mistakes. They want to painstakingly piece the pieces of this investigative puzzle together so that when probable cause is established, they can charge individuals in relation to roles they allegedly played. So for investigators, when you speak to them off camera, they tell you that, look, the pressure is on us. At one point in time, we heard, you know, rumors, you know, unconfirmed rumors that the LDA OIC, Fitzgerald Biago, had attempted resigning due to pressure. You know, the last cabinet meeting when the president made his statement that no one will be spared, we saw the physical reaction, the facial expression from the OIC of the LDA, whether or not that speaks to whatever interpretation that you can assign to that. But he physically, when the president made that statement, he looked physically in distress. He looked uncomfortable. Whether or not that was an expression of I'm tired, we've done enough, or whether or not that was an expression of, look, let's name these names and get these things out of our chest. Whatever interpretation you can ascribe to his physical reaction during that cabinet meeting, that is your prerogative. But what we can tell you is the Joint Security are very vested in this. They've told us that they want to put this matter to bed. They want to take individuals and hold them accountable by the books, put them, you know, on the record and make sure that the laws are applied accordingly. So we're waiting to see if Nelson has got new information as to when this press conference is going to begin. But what we can tell you, what we can confirm to you is there is going to be a major press conference. And our sources, high up sources, impeccable sources, have hinted to the Spoon Network that suspects will be named and arrests have been made. The question now is, only in that press conference would we know which names will be announced and what roles will be ascribed. Thank you so much for watching. For now, once the press conference is on, we'll definitely bring you the live coverage of the press conference. My name is Diamond Slanger. Nelson Colette began this podcast earlier on and has been contributing immensely. All information we're getting is the press conference will begin moments
about you that makes me high. You've been on my wanting list for so long, so I need me. What I feel about you, I'ma make you see. Tell me something where I know you do, my baby. For you I do, for you I do. Tell me something where I know you do, my baby. For you I do, for you I do, for you I do. When it comes to your baby, I don't reason nobody feel I said nobody else, nobody else. Yeah. Tell me something where I don't need to, my baby. For you I do, for no, yeah. Hey, baby, my lady. Never been a thing since I met you. Girl, you came to my rescue. Family, you for everything. Girl, you got direction. You keep loving me. You my, I want you. Oh, baby,
not just because drug in itself has got its own problems, but for a government that campaigned against drugs and drugs infestation in our country, this is a major case. As stated by Nelson Collier, some years back, we had $100 million worth of drug case here in this country, and we go back to the history books for Liberia to be seen as a serious country in the fight against drugs and other transnational crimes. This case is a huge litmus test for the Bracacone administration. Back in history, in October 2022, 520 kg of cocaine was seized at the Freeport of Monrovia. That 520 kg was concealed in a container from Brazil. This guy's asked frozen food. Before we go back to the history books, we can see that there is a tight and very strict security presence here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. To enter this place, you must be searched, you must be questioned, you must be given authority before you can even enter. This place has got a quiet eerie about it. It's quiet. The breeze, is the only thing you can feel and hear whistle. Apart from that, only murmurs and pockets chattering you can notice. The rest of it is serious face, questions being asked, and there seems to be some level of tense here. The public pressure on police authorities have been very, very immense. Liberians, home and abroad, are equally interested and vested in what happens here. Which names will be called? What roles will be defined? What charges, if charges are going to be levied, Nelson? It's a serious, serious situation here. The press is present. There is, an army of media practitioners, because word has gone around that the police is going to have a major press conference in relation to the $19.2 million drug bust at the Roberts International Airport, Nelson. What's your take on all of what new information have you been able to gather as well?
So what I'm getting is that the press conference is going to be starting very shortly. But Diamond, from the very day the Senate had the public hearing with the folks from the Joint Security, the heads of the Joint Security,
Let them go and complete. Love will get for the purple. Once you get like you can change at your bed with a bottle. You because it's not God. You just go by the plane, you will end up in trouble. Income start killing things for the family. Pushing, get everything down. Let it be from heaven. I'm on that phone under pressure. Wait. I just want me, and I won't worry to cover me. Even when the man not coming, when I feel my door, I will drink. Yeah. I will pop in my hustle, I wait up for my Sophie. Even when I get it to start my day, I'm not complete. I will take my time, I will not rush, I will suffer for it. Give it love, some kind of way I will go for you. You sit up and your people say, I don't want to go like that. I just want to pay money to put the step for you. Because the way they can talk about me, I don't want me to suffer in pain. All the pain, my woman I feel, but I go in pain. They want me be acting like all the day. And I tell them, mommy, no. Anything I put my name in the beginning, yeah. I wanted to pull it, I had to pull it. I thought you know you were fucking running to what's really. Get it, man, I get it. You get somebody not get it. I get it. They better pull it. I ordered you telling, and I want to keep it flat for me. I can't use a chest. I can buy it for those times for me. I real with it. Come on, you want to shower me. You want me, I will see it. Nobody want to follow me. Say the one I sit on the phone, you couldn't clap for me. I feel like I was going to go in and put clap for me. I'm feeling that if I am from my neck, because they clap for our big. You will never count on my great where I choose to put it clean up when we go with my people come do my show, sell on tape, delivery. My baby, come a body, we'll show you great. Clean it, stay because the way I can talk about me. I want me just a fine thing. All the cream, my woman, I be my jago in pain. They want me be acting like all the day. They want me no fair. Anything, I do my name, will be hello. Back in bit of my lady, I friend him on big lady, but he really cut it. Talking about the hell about invader in the family. And then I want to see your need of never making it. And they want for it to be hot $2 only. Uncle do want to run a women there to become fully. Talking about he saw me smoking crying, mama feeling like that one I used to tell so much rent to buy a cigarette. I didn't want it, I used to say me without crying. We can big that children into their house in the future before we start 15 years later. I bought her with an uncle, you will tell my girl from my face, get that point expectation, everything plays. I didn't lose my way. Come and visit my family. And I just say, you want to look at the way they can talk about me. I'm a way they can talk about me. Can talk about me. They 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 can talk about me. You want for me with their wolf. With the lion, Khalil. Want to hear warrior. Become a level only one school and carry. You won't eat me on the low. My channel only on offer. And I'm watching nobody want for me, I will see you. I'm talking for me, you will get real. I damn money my business. They try like did you watch your enemies? They won't see me in photo, kill and chain, they will kill me, soko. They just want me to die, bolala. Oh, did you watch your enemies? They won't see me in photo, kill and chain, they will kill me, soko. They just want me to die. I'm blessing you, we are like plenty, but bless I need plenty like I do a jaguna. It is love. Follow me. All of my people left me because my iPhone clip working for me, like for me, yeah. Blessings don't follow me. All of my